The following is a special presentation of the First Horizon Greene Sports Zone. This is the Pizza Inn Eddie Spradlen Show.
Welcome back to First Horizon's Greene Sports Zone. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Pizza Inn Eddie Spradlen Show, where we cover everything inside of beautiful Burley Stadium with the Greene Devil football team. We'll talk about what the Greene Devils did last week on their bye week and preview this week's Region 1 4A matchup on the road against Volunteer. But as always, we need to get a billboard spot in first. So thank you to these sponsors for sponsoring us here at First Horizon's Greene Sports Zone. We'll be right back for the second half of the Pizza Inn Eddie Spradlen Show.
The Pizza Inn Eddie Spradlen Show is brought to you by Ashley Drug Center, IHOP at Davy Crockett TA Travel Center, Gateway Ford Nissan, Tommy's Plumbing, by Pizza Inn, and by First Horizon Bank.
Here's a twist on your typical banking options. What if instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you had one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon. Big bank muscle with small bank hustle. Big bank convenience and small bank connection. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. To help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank.
Welcome back to First Horizon's Greene Sports Zone, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Pizza Inn Eddie Spradlen Show, where we cover everything on the turf here inside of Burley Stadium with the Greene Devil football team. As always, joined here with Greene Devil head coach Eddie Spradlen. Coach, how's it going?
Good, man. You?
I'm doing well. It's a little not quite chilly yet,
Yeah.
Not quite hot
Feels
yet.
nice, man.
It does feel nice right now. As soon as we say that, the clouds are going to
Yeah.
uncover
Open
the
up.
sun, and the sun's going to peek out a little bit. But you finished with fall break last week. You take a week off. You're going into this week now. So we talked last week about how nice it was not having football activities and kind of getting away for a vacation. So you're on to Volunteer week now. We won't talk about Volunteer too much, but here on Monday right now, what's the vibe like here at Greenville?
Good. You know, kids are excited. You know, it's another day they're out of school. We did a little stuff last night, got together since we didn't do anything over fall break. You know, it gave them all that week off, but we got together, did a little stuff last night, and it just kind of got them back in the groove, did a little stuff. Didn't really do much in the weight room, but just did some rehab stuff, try to get their bodies, you know, energized, ready to go again. And we'll attack the weight room hard this afternoon when they show up, have a good practice, and we got a big JV game against Dobbins Bennett tonight, so looking forward to it.
Now let's talk about the JV a little bit, as you mentioned it, because I don't think we've shown them any love this year. We talk about the varsity so much that the JV gets overlooked a little bit, but those same JV athletes are the same ones that we're going to be talking about in years to come here at Greenville High School on Friday nights. So talk about the JV team a little bit, some of your top performers from this year and how your games have went.
You know, it's been a really good JV schedule. You know, we're not playing, many of our region teams are not going to play us in JV, so we played Sevier County, we played Dobbins Bennett. We played a freshman game with our freshmen against their freshmen. JV team's been real successful. We've won all our games but one. We got beat by Elizabethton. We hit a touchdown pass, about a 60-yard touchdown pass as in the fourth quarter with, you know, not much time on the clock, and they called a holding penalty, and we ended up losing that game by less than a touchdown. So but it was a really good battle, and that was on early in the year, like our second game. But we continued to improve, won all our other games. It's been a good group. You know, we're not playing many not many sophomores. It's mostly freshmen getting to play on that JV team with a few sophomores. Really excited about that group. Got some really good skill kids in that freshman class, some good linemen. So excited about that young group. And you know, with those JV guys, we're gonna come in. We got a JV game tonight. We're gonna come in, bring them in at 2:30. They're gonna get a lift in, just like the varsity does today. So really focus on development with those young guys. And win or lose, you know, nobody's keeping track of those who wins those JV games. So we're just mainly focused on development with those guys. Get a lot of guys in there, a lot of reps, and continue to get it better each week. They had a big game last week. After we played Sevier County, we played that Sevier on that Monday. We played down there again, and got a big 27-7 win over Sevier County, which was nice. So excited about that group.
It's all about getting better in development.
Oh, for sure.
And I know you've had the week off too, and that's good for the kids also, because I don't know if I've seen a group around this area that love football more than the Greene Devils do. And I know that even though they love football and even though you love football, it's good to get a break. I know you talked about it last week. So how do you think the kids have reacted to this break they've had on fall break?
Really good. You know, like I said, getting together last night, did some stuff. They had great energy about them, got after it good. And, you know, we come in here and just try to, you know, like you said, excuse me, our kids enjoy football, and this group, like majority of the teams that's played here, you ask them to work and they're going to work. And, you know, it's an expectation. We call it the Greene Devils standard, and those kids live up to that standard and expectations. And this group has really worked hard, but like we talked about, it's a long, hard grind from what we do in the summer, coming in 4 days a week at 7:30 in the morning and doing that throughout the whole summer, and then, you know, from spring practice coming in before school. You know, it's a long, hard grind. So a week off at this time of year is really good for the players, but really it's good for the coaching staff and, you know, everybody involved. You know, multiple coaches took their families to the beach and enjoyed the time off. I went to the mountains, which was good. So just nice to get the week off. But then last night I challenged those kids. You got a break, all right? Now this is your last ride right here. What's your commitment level? How much are you going to be dedicated to see how good we can be? Because, you know, right now, you know, I feel like we're a good football team, but are we to our potential yet? No, by no means. We still got a lot of steps on that ladder to keep on taking. So really excited where we're at, but excited to see what this group does the next 3 weeks and into the playoffs.
Yeah, and you're going into your final road game this week against Volunteer, a big matchup within the Region 1 4A conference. Of course, you still want to win that conference at the end of the year. You still want to keep that streak going, and in order to do it, you got to beat Volunteer, who's one of the top teams in the region this year. They've got a high-powered offense, as we've seen this past Friday night in their game with Chucky Doak. So we'll talk about that in just a minute, though. As always, we need to get a break in before the preview spots. So enjoy these commercial spots. Thank these businesses for sponsoring us here at First Horizons Green Sports Zone. We'll be right back after this break.
Here's a twist on your typical banking options. What if instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you had one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon. Big bank muscle with small bank hustle. Big bank convenience and small bank connection. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. To help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank.
Pizza Inn presents I Ate at Pizza Inn. I ate pizza at Pizza Inn. I ate a salad at Pizza Inn.
I ate pizza!
I ate it all.
Hi, I'm Kyle, and I'm inviting you to come and enjoy Greenville's favorite hometown pizza, pasta, salad, and dessert buffet for just $8 all day, Monday through Friday. And then you can say,
"We all ate at Pizza Inn."
Tommy's Plumbing has been in business for 30 years, and we're still growing because we treat our customers like family. We are proud to do any job from kitchen faucet installation to a complete home repipe. Tommy's Plumbing offers warranties on most products installed by our technicians. When the job is done, our friendly professionals make sure to clean up. We invite you to visit our new showroom in Jonesboro to see our quality products for yourself. Tommy's is the only one to call when you need a fast, reliable, professional plumber in the Tri-Cities.
Win or lose, it's a family tradition. "24-hour hot breakfast, cold drinks, and a table big enough for the whole team, or just your team." IHOP at Davy Crockett Travel Centers. Breakfast that brings you back. Open 24/7 right off I-81, exit 36. Welcome back to First Horizons Green Sports Zone, and welcome back to this week's edition of the PT and Eddie Spradlen Show, where we cover everything inside of Burley Stadium with the Greenville Greene Devil football team. As always, I'm joined here with Greene Devil head coach Eddie Spradlen. So you go on the road for the final time this year in the regular season, if I'm correct.
Yes, sir.
You got the Volunteer Falcons this Friday night, a team that's very much improved as we've seen. They were winless last 2 seasons, are now 6-1 on the year after beating Chucky Doak this past Friday night in Greene County. So talk about what you expect from Volunteer on Friday night and how you anticipate them to come out.
You know, really talented football team. Like we kind of talked about, they hit the transfer portal pretty good and got some really quality players in there. Somebody told me they've got 8 to 10 transfers in there, and they're all making big contributions to their football team. But really explosive football team. Got a lot of talent at running back, 2 kids that really run hard, but it starts with the quarterback, and makes a lot of plays with his legs, and he's got a strong arm, and he's got some really talented receivers out there on the edge, and big offensive line, and they really play hard on defense, but present a good challenge for the Greene Devils.
And then talk about their offense and defense a little bit more. I know you talked about their offense there a little bit and the talent that they have, but what are some things that you're going to have to stop on defense to be successful and keep them off the scoreboard?
You know, like I said, they're scoring a lot of points. You know, like you said, they scored 70 points last week. They've scored 50 points in 1 game, and you know, they've scored a lot of points. You know, scored 21 points, I think, against Elizabeth, and so they're scoring points against quality football teams. Do a good job in their offensive scheme, get the ball to the players that are open. Got a really good tight end I didn't mention as well that they get involved with. But the quarterback, like I said, he makes things happen with his legs and his arms. So you got to make sure you got guys responsible for him first and foremost, and you got to make sure we're staying in coverage. They do a great job on some RPOs. Hit a lot of touchdown passes off RPO, so it'll be a big challenge for us. You got to be able to play run and pass against them.
And then talk about their defense and what we can expect, because everybody knows about their offense and how many points they've scored there. I mean, they're coming off a game in which they set their school record for most points in a single game, but the defense is something that not a lot of people talk about, but we're not seeing them get blown out like they had in previous years. Now, obviously, with a 6-1 record, their defense is doing enough to hold their teams to a low margin, and their offense scores points in bunches. So what about their defense, and what can we expect from that?
You know, they're not giving up many points. You know, I think they gave up 31 twice. But other than that, they're not giving up many points. Got one of the best defensive linemen in the area for sure, one of the top defensive linemen in the region. You know, he's hard to handle, making a lot of TFLs. I was reading an article that they had 2 of the top guys in the Tri-Cities for TFLs. So really explosive defense where they're sending some pressure and moving guys up front, and you know, they're playing real fast on defense and playing good in the coverage because, you know, like I said, people are not scoring many points on them, but really talented defense as well as offense. Really talented football team that's really excited. Like you talked about, people being excited about Greenville football, you know, that makes a lot of difference. You know, kids are excited. I think those kids are hungry. You know, they've went 2 years not won a football game, then you're winning 6 games. It brings a lot of energy for your program. So those kids are excited, play really hard, a lot of excitement. So it'll be a big time challenge for us on Friday night.
Yeah, it'll be a big game for both teams, because both teams are obviously in hunt for that Region 1 4A championship at the end of the year. You control your own destiny. They need a little bit of help. I think they would need to beat you and then have a little bit of help at the end of the year too, knowing that they lost to Elizabethton. But for them, they have more to lose than you all do in a way. So talk about playing a team like that that's still in contention, because the last few years, I don't think we've really had a situation like this. It came down to the end of the year with Elizabethton, maybe 2 years ago whenever you played Northview for the first time, and they were one of the top teams within the conference there in the hunt for it. But Volunteers in a situation right here where they can really get a leg up on the competition with a win over the Greene Devils on Friday night. So talk about playing a team like that where their back's against the wall and they have more to lose than you all do.
Yeah, you know, they're going to play with nothing to lose for sure. You know, they got a big-time matchup against Cherokee next week, their big-time rival, which, you know, when we played Cherokee, we told our kids you got to win it out to win this region. Cherokee, a really talented football team. We were able to come out and play good football against them. It's going to take that same effort against another really talented football team. And one thing I didn't mention, they're really good in special teams. You saw it on Friday night against Chucky Doak. They're doing onside kicks to start, 2 other onside kicks during the game. So, like you said, they're playing with nothing to lose. Don't matter who they're playing. Try to score points, run the thing up. So, big challenge for us on Friday night.
As always, too, going into the game, you've got 3 keys of the game that you need to carry out in order to get that win on the road at Volunteers. So this Friday night, what are they?
You know, the first one, how you going to respond after a week off? You know, it challenges the football team. How you going to respond after a loss? You know, that don't happen much with this group. And how were they going to respond? And they came out responded really well. It's going to take that same effort. How you going to respond after a week off? Are you going to be a little more energy, excitement? I think they will. But how are we going to respond? That's the first key, first and foremost. And secondly, how you going to can we continue to run the football against a good defense? This does multiple different things. We got to be able to win a line of scrimmage against a good, talented, you know, their D-line's big and physical, so it's going to be a good challenge for our offensive line. We've got to establish the running game against them to open up our passing game, you know. But I feel like, you know, we can throw the football against them, but we got to be able to run the football. And third one, it's going to come down to dang defense. How are we going to respond to the different RPOs, what the quarterback does? You know, they're moving their offensive line, pulling somebody every time. So it presents a big challenge for us defensively. We got to be able to respond and, you know, got playmakers, you know, 7s, scoring a lot of touchdowns. They can do a lot of screen games, which makes it tough on a defense. So how are we going to respond defensively? It'll be a big key. And this one, you got to be good in special teams too. I got to make sure.
Especially with them, yeah.
You know, you got to be aware of them faking something. If they score a touchdown, they do the muddle huddle, swinging gate, whatever you want to call it, where they spread somebody out and all lined up different places. You saw that against Chucky Doak on Friday, but do a lot of different things, so you got to make sure you're prepared. And first and foremost, that's on me. We got to make sure we're prepared, and we'll have a good week of practice. And I feel like we've got a really good plan for our guys. Our guys are hungry and excited. They just got to come out and play a little football against a good football team.
Yeah, touching on the region standings a little bit, as I mentioned right there, I mean, their odds of winning the conference are slim, but they're not none. Yeah. They need a win over you on Friday night. With a loss on Friday night, that pretty much eliminates them, as they would be put behind you and Elizabethton, who are both undefeated at the moment. But a Volunteer win would really shake things up, but then at the end of the year, it would come down to you and Elizabethton with that Granger game in the middle also, which plays a big factor. So things are still up in the air with the region at the moment, but I think also with a win on Friday night, you lock yourself into the playoffs. Is that correct?
Yeah, we should be if we win Friday, we should be a 1 or 2 seed regardless. So excited about that. You know, at the end of the day, you just got to keep on winning. That's our plan. We're going to be 1-0 this week. You got a lot of kids that are excited. You know, a little trash talking on Friday night at the football game, some of their guys. So our kids are excited about it and really go prove a point.
I love some amped up high school football on Friday nights.
Sure.
Won't be here at Burley Stadium, of course. It'll be on the road over there at Volunteers. So if you plan on going, go enjoy some football on Friday night. Support the Greene Devils after a week off. It'll be their last road game, so all the other games throughout the regular season you can enjoy here at Burley Stadium. But we do encourage you to hit the road on Friday night and go enjoy that game and see the Greene Devils play the Falcons. But, Coach, unless there's anything you've got, I think that's all I got for you.
Appreciate it, man. Go Devils.
Absolutely. Enjoy talking to you
yes,
again.
Sir.
Thank you all for watching this week's edition of the Pizza and Eddie Spradlen Show. Look forward to seeing you next time here on First Horizons Green Sports Zone.